All right, let's move on to more 1 p.m. action. Seattle Seahawks 4-8, 2-4 on the road. At Houston Texans 2-10, 1-5 at home. We're at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We have Seattle opening up as 7.5-point favorites. The market's moved 6 cents in their direction at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 43.5, has dropped to 41.5. Go over to the cash flow in this spot. 2,874 tickets in. 64% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Seahawks. 41% of the tickets, 66% of the cash on the over. Seahawks coming off a 30-23 home win over the Niners to snap their 3-game losing streak. Playoffs still a mathematical possibility for the Seahawks, so they're not, they're still trying. They're going to play out the final few weeks and try at this point. Russell Wilson, 30-37 for 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyler Lockett caught 7 passes for 68 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf caught 5 passes for 60 yards. First time we've seen DK Metcalf look good for a few weeks. Travis Homer ran 3 times for 80 yards and a touchdown. One was the fake punt for 73 yards and a touchdown. Gerald Everett caught 4 passes for 7 yards, lost 2 fumbles, was responsible for another turnover. They still had difficulty applying pressure. They finished with 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. Ron Crawford, the spreadsheet stat plays on Houston plus 7.5. Slatsy said, man, this is one ugly card. Who is throwing for Houston? Otter on the over says Seattle shouldn't lay 7.5 on the road against Bama. Quandra Diggs had 1 interception for 29 yards. Bobby Wagner, 9 tackles, 1 interception. Jordan Brooks had 11 tackles. Seattle was without Alex Collins, who's been dealing with these abdominal issues for weeks now. Left guard Damian Lewis. They lose Jamal Adams to a sprained shoulder in the first half. Brandon Shell also left in the second half due to a shoulder injury. All 4 are listed as questionable this week. The Texans coming off a disastrous 31-0 loss at home to the Colts. Turned the ball over twice in the first quarter. Tyrod Taylor was benched in the third quarter. And Houston lost for the 9th time in 10 games. Colts outgained Houston 389-141. Indianapolis had 26 first downs, 9 first downs for the Texans. Tyrod Taylor was 5 of 13 for 45 yards and a pick. And Davis Mills came in, went 6 of 14 for 49 yards. Brandon Cooks caught 3 passes for 38 yards. Rex Burkhead had 8 carries for 30 yards. They managed just 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. And Zach Cunningham was inactive after being suspended for violating team rules. So he was suspended for a quarter earlier in the season for violating team rules. And safety Justin Reed was suspended against the Jets for violating team rules. Terry Walker thinks these guys, Texans, can cover. Bebsie, this is an ugly one. Seahawks, Texans, take it away.
Well, I agree with Otter. You can't lay 7.5 points with Seattle on the road. Seattle's coming off a win against the Niners in which everything had to go their way, including the Niners losing Deebo Samuel and Fred Warner last week, adding to their already gruesome pile of injuries. But not only that, they had the fake punt work for them. They had Jimmy Garoppolo through 2 abysmal interceptions. He threw it into Bobby Wagner's gut. I don't know how Jimmy Garoppolo can't ever see linebackers. But not only that, Seattle Seahawks got pushed down the field at the end of the half. The Niners had 11 penalties for 114 yards. The Seattle Seahawks had 5 for 35 and 0 in the second half. So much so that half the 49ers complained about the officiating after the game, and it was terrible. Clearly one-sided, and they still not almost lost the game, but the Niners still had the ball on the 2-yard line to end that game. This is not a good football team. It's a very lucky football team to win that game, I mean. So it's Houston or no bet. I think you're crazy to lay money with the Seattle Seahawks 7.5 on the road here. And yeah, the Texans, they're coming off a horrible loss, but they're also coming off a horrible loss to the hottest team in the NFL right now. So I don't know. I think you'd be crazy. I'm not betting this because I think this is a garbage dumpster fire of a game. But if you are going to bet, if you must bet, I would say Texans.
And you agree with this total going down to 41.5?
Yeah, I mean, it's two offenses that can't get much of anything done. But you said 41.5? You got 48 on the screen here.
Why did I think it moved to 40? Yeah, it's moved down to 41.5. Yeah.
From 48? That's wild.
No, from 43.5 down to 41.5.
Okay.
That's my mistake, Bebsie. Call me
God
out for my
damn it,
opinion.
Jose.
I'll take 10 lashings today.
Yeah, two very bad offenses.
All right. There is the Texans spot, so no move for you. No move for you, and no move for me at this point. Robert Allen says you're going to get involved in this one because someone has tied you up and has a knife to your throat. Take the points.